Hey, what's up, La Familia? You crazy football-loving nutters. This is Ray Hudson, and you are luxuriating in listening to the Inter Miami podcast with the stupefyingly magnificent Jay and Alex. Two lads who are as electrifying as a hairdryer thrown into a hot tub. Stay tuned, because you know what it's going to be. It's going to be magisterial with an amplifier.
The cross goes, he's done it again. Taylor squares it for Victor Ulloa. It's one up. Ulloa and Taylor. Job done for Inter Miami. Led it in by Mote. What? 6. It's 2 for Miami. Damian Lowell doubles the lead. Some days you can just sense something wicked. This way it comes.
Welcome back, man. Welcome back. Just faulty equipment, having to just send it back to the manufacturer. What else can life throw at us? It's fine.
Well, I mean, at least I'm not dead. I know I went MIA for a while. My voice is back. I know the listeners missed me. They were tired of hearing you and the substitutes that you brought on to replace me. But no, I mean, this has been a struggle. I think we've gone through way too many technical difficulties over the past 24 hours just to get this out. So
yeah, I think my standalone system died of a broken heart or loneliness. I'm not really exactly sure what it was, but it wasn't working last night. So we just had to scrap and foil, and I had to go dig in the old trusty suitcase with a bunch of random audio and sound equipment in there and just try and piece something together that we used to use. To be perfectly fair, I can't even see my sound levels. I have no idea if I'm too loud, if I'm too soft. So, you got to tell me if you can experience anything. But I think the best thing is just we're going to let the viewers or the listeners do it in the car, man. If I'm making you deaf, I'm sorry. Suck it up. Suck it up, boys and girls. But we're back. The Inter Miami podcast, official, standard, normal format, kind of, is back. Ad hoc. Kind of lacking some structure. But we're going to get through this. We're going to have some fun because – man, oh man. I mean, last night was probably the happiest I was ever going to be recording an episode of the podcast, but I am still amped. It was a revenge so sweet. If you live under a rock and you have no idea what's happening, we not only beat our rivals, not only destroyed them, we ripped their spinal cord out and stomped on their soul. It was the best shellacking I've witnessed. It was the best night at Drive Pink. It was the best game overall. Everything, the energy, the crowd, La Familia. It was absolutely wild. Johnny put on the full Pooh Shiesty. Johnny Alpha, Pooh Shiesty. I don't even know what you call it. Oh yeah, I do. A balaclava. Balaclava, yeah. Full balaclava, pink urban street camo, bulletproof vest, pants, whole get up, man. Whole get up. Everyone was stopping him, asking for pictures, man. This was such a hell of a night. And I know, everyone that was viewing this either at the stadium or from afar, this is the best thing that could have ever happened. Best thing ever.
yeah, I mean, just watching it from, as far away as I was, I had goosebumps the entire night, from 30 seconds in, even to like right now, as we're talking about it, it's goosebumps. I mean, we've seen in our days of supporting EPL clubs, some damn good games, which are almost on the same level of feeling and sensation. And it just was a completely different atmosphere. It just shows you what's going to happen when Miami Freedom Park opens up and this club is performing as they should be. Absolutely unreal. Like, I wish I could actually properly put it into words, but I can't. It was one of those things you had to experience in the moment, whether you were there or whether you were watching from afar, or, I mean, I don't know. The highlights don't even do it justice. Shout out to each and every person that came out for that match. Because I will be honest with you, I was hearing that it was sold out, quote unquote. And I was that means that folks aren't going to show up. But no, we we showed Orlando what's up, and Twitter has been quiet for over 2 days now. So
Yeah, it's real funny. You
yeah.
know, if they beat us, all these random people we've never even spoken with or interacted with want to send us just heavy messages, just very angry, just assaulting us. And I'm like, I don't even know you. And you know, we're mature, right? We're adults. You know, we're not going to hold grudges. I might have said ha 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 ha, like I don't know, as many characters as I could fit into one tweet that said hashtag bye bye, but that was it. That was all I was gonna say, man. I'm happy because I got what I wanted.
I may or may not have gone on a few Orlando City Twitter posts and maybe posted the okay bye bye now gif.
Yep.
And then the legendary teddy bear collector on the Orlando side got a little pissy at me, and
Oh,
I
thank you.
told him we'll see him next year because we're all Crew fans this weekend, I think.
Yeah, I don't want the SGs to be mad at me, but Johnny and I definitely started a na chant and hey goodbye. It
Well,
felt so great.
that was not the chant that came through loud and clear over the TV
Oh,
to
that
the point
other
where
one.
to the point where I had to turn it down because Riley was catching on to it, and he's like, "I
Yeah,
like this one." I'm like, "No, I
yeah,
appreciate it,
yeah.
but no."
Yeah, exactly. That you know, that was only like a small snippet of that. They did that. They've sung that for a much longer duration than we have. But I'm just really happy because, man, I don't know how long it's been. Definitely a couple months of putting this energy out there since they rescheduled the games. I think maybe even before that. Like I want this game to be the game that we jump Orlando. Then they did reschedule it, and um obviously towards the end of the season, like this is tough, right? We got to play 5 games in what, like 9 days or something, right? But just with the stretch and the rescheduling, I wanted to not only beat them, I wanted to jump them, I wanted to then knock them below the playoff line. And that is exactly what happened. And I could not be happier. It reminded me of the Chelsea Champions League kind of prophecy, how it just kept happening. I was like, yes, like this is actually really going to happen. And now Orlando's got to play a very hungry Columbus side to, they're going to play each other on decision day and winner gets in basically. We're going to play Montreal. We'll speak about this in a bit. We do have the opportunity with a little bit of luck from the soccer gods and maybe our boy Lewis Morgan for throwing a game. We might be able to jump up, steal a home field advantage for playoffs, which would be just absolutely massive. But I mean, this is, you and I both were maybe a little less confident once we found out the news that Pozuelo was not going to start. And I definitely a little nervous going in there. We were obviously out our captain Gregory, really the linchpin of the kind of first line of defense, if you will. But those fears were put to rest, and I think it was a total of 35 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, by the Greek bust statue carved from Zeus himself, even though he's Ecuadorian, Mr. Leo Campana, with a really heads up, aware play to see Antonio Carlos and Rodrigo Schlegel kind of slacking, half-assing it back to the ball. And like Leo's not a fast guy per se. Like he's a professional athlete, right? But he's not like a speedster. He's a target man. And for him to just split both of them, get up there with the confidence of just, I don't even know what metaphor I'm going for here, but just the ultimate confidence to just chip this massively deep shot right over Pedro Gillese, who was caught lingering out of his net. I mean, that's one, viewing it from the north stand, that's scored on the south side goal. And we all just see that ball go up in the air, and everyone kind of takes a breath, and then we just see it drop in and lose our shit instantly. I mean, we were already going to come out there and be as loud as we could, really keep the energy up. But when you score that early, which I think that's got to be the earliest goal. The second earliest goal I can think of is the Pizarro goal against DC and what the second game ever played, which was maybe like a minute and a half, 2 minutes or something like that. This was lightning quick and boom, erupted erupted dry pink and set the tone for the entire night. And so many more goals were going to come. We just didn't know it at that time.
I mean, you're recapping this, and I'm watching it over here again, and I've got goosebumps because not only was it a heads up play by Robbie Taylor to not give up on that ball, and actually, as much credit as he gets with getting credited for the assist, the ball just ricochets off of him and goes out into Campana's, field of play.
Mm-hmm.
But then, not even like thinking about it, I was like, oh, Schlegel's got this. Like, just another reason for me to hate Schlegel even more.
I hate Schlegel so much.
I did tweet during the game. I said, I wish we would just rocket Schlegel straight to the sun or something like that. But I honestly went to look away, and Riley goes, oh. And I look up, and I just see the ball arcing. And I think the thing that got me going the most was Gonzalo throwing his hands up. The ball's like barely chipped, and Gonzalo already knew. He's like, that's in. That's going. And honestly, I'm a little upset for Leo because if it wasn't for Zillarion's audacious free kick this past week, that was going to be goal of the week.
Yeah. Dude, after I saw the Zelly goal, I had the exact same thought. Like, well, Campana's, not going to get it, but
yeah,
I don't. Maybe they give it to Campana just because of like the nature of the game, and I mean, like, Columbus kind of blew it there at the end, so maybe, but hell of a goal, man.
I mean, we could probably spend all game or all night talking about this goal, different angles, but the good times faded a little quickly here. 33rd minute, the Ecuadorian godsend goes down. From my angle, he was running towards the ball, the angle they showed on TV, and it wasn't like when a running back pulls his hammy and he just stops and pulls it. He didn't even do that. He just stopped running, and I'm like, what the hell's going on with that? Good on Phil for recognizing.
Same leg,
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, good on Phil for recognizing immediately and said, Ari, let's go. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, so this was one of the games where I really, obviously, I want to be in that environment, in that stadium. I have the game recorded. It's been busy, and I haven't been able to watch it. But I really of just enjoying Ray Hudson and Andreas calling this game. I cannot wait to watch it so I can hear just how just positive and all the energy coming from them were. But someone I think was texting the Discord and said that Campana was like crying, like it looked like he had like tears in his eyes. So the assumption was that it was very, very bad.
Yeah, I mean, again, I didn't see it at first, but as soon as I saw Phil pointing towards Ari, like, hurry up, I was like, oh no. And then they started working on that left leg. I was like, no, not this close to the World Cup. Not this close to
right. And that's the thing. It's not that we want Campana for the final game of the season to try and push for home field advantage. Obviously, we want Campana in the playoffs, right? We're looking great. We really hit our stride. We're a pretty scary team, especially at home right now. But the heartbreak was the World Cup, because that's all this kid wants, man, is just to go to the World Cup and fulfill a dream. And he's one of the most humble, down-to-earth, nicest human beings you will ever have the privilege of speaking to. And you instantly like the guy after you talk to him. It's just a all-around horrible situation, but there was some solace in it because he looked very jovial in the post-game celebratory picture. So that leads me to think that we're probably out Campana for the rest of the season, but it gives me hope that he can at least fulfill the dream that he's had since he was a child, man, since he could first comprehend.
I think that separates us from some of the others who would sit here and demand that he comes back for the playoffs. I honestly, I don't give a shit. Let this kid get rested and go to the World Cup. Yeah. We have done 200% more than anybody ever thought we would this season.
Yep.
I'm not saying let's hang our hat on just making the playoffs, but let's also reward the kid that got us there. Let's let him get to this World Cup and represent and do what he's wanted to do forever.
Yeah, and to be fair, we've had that train of thought since he got injured earlier in the season. We're like, do not rush him back, do not jeopardize his World Cup, and I feel much more at ease because, again, everyone thought, said I was crazy that I was saying, Gonzalo needs to we need to start Gonzalo more often, like midway through the season. Then he just went on his tear. I think everyone feels a bit more comfortable because Gonzalo is just in the best form of his tenure at Inter Miami. He did announce his retirement. It has been a little bit since we've been able to have our standard format, so that's not really news to anybody. I'm hoping he finds that passion and sticks on for another year, but just Gonzalo in the form he's in, it makes me more comfortable and more definitely at ease. Like, yeah, Campana, sit it out. You go do the World Cup. Higuain's got this. And again, we didn't have Pozuelo, we didn't have Gregory, so we feel it just feels good. It feels right. I think for the first time in a very, very long time, man, we have confidence. Not just the team being confident in themselves. I'm talking about the fans are confident that we can compete with any team in this league.
It's not just the fans, though. I overheard a few analysts today saying, I would not want to play Miami. That's like never been spoken.
Yeah.
Even
Exactly.
DC was like, bring on Miami. Like, come on now. But like, if you're not excited, if you're not geared up and focused on what's ahead and excited for this club, you really need to get your pulse check and maybe check your allegiances, because this is what we have been waiting for.
Yep.
You and I have been through since day one, almost 2.5, let's call it 2 3/4 years of heartbreak and frustration and anger. And like, we look at
after the most heart-ripping games.
You and I
I've been beat
recording,
up.
you and I recording is like that meme where the guy has a mask on and it's smiling, but he's crying underneath it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
us.
And
But
like, I can tell Chloe's like, finally it's paying off for him. Like, it's
yes,
been a long damn road.
well, and not even that, but then we see Cincinnati having spurts of success, and then we see Austin just blow up the Western Conference, and we're like, come on, do something.
Yeah, dude, it's
Let's
our
do
turn.
something.
Come on,
Yeah.
Even Charlotte even started out the season like pretty decent. I was just like,
Yeah.
man, like, are we really gonna be the like us in Cincinnati, the two like bust of expansion teams? And I'll tell you what, man, like, low key, I'm a Cincinnati fan, not because I grew up an hour away from it, but like, I'm happy. I feel happy, genuinely happy for their fans, because you went through what, 4 or 5 years of really bad times. And now you're finally starting to see a really good product, although they've been kind of, having some issues lately, but barring some craziness, that they should make the playoffs. And it feels damn good because, you and I've talked about this, right? Like, football, it's not about winning. It's not about championships, man. It's about the suffering. It's about the losing. It's about the commitment, the dedication. All that stuff leads to make the wins or the championships what they are. But if you haven't suffered, man, you're not a fan, dude. Like, not everything is roses, but you got to stick with it. Stay determined. Keep rolling, man.
I think that's why Lucy puts up with the fact, like, every goal that goes in, I let out this utter, like, primal scream, because it is just so satisfying. There's been plenty of games, like we talked about a while back. Every DC game I went to, like, it was just blow up after blow up after late blow up. And then Philly, okay, we had to come back with the Higuain brothers, but then we saw draws when we should have won. And, it's the OGs. I'm not trying to say if you're not from the beginning, you're not an actual fan, but like, the OGs know what this should feel like, and like, those are the ones you see walking on air right now.
Yeah,
because this
exactly.
is just everything we wanted from the get-go, and now we're finally getting it.
Yeah, the fourth goal was just as exciting, enjoyable, relieving as the first goal. So we've been kind of going on this for a bit. Obviously, we're very happy. I'll let you finish, but after this, Go ahead and bring us to the next goal.
Well, I was going to talk about being happy. I was happy because Schlegel got done again on the second goal. Indy Vasilev comes screaming up the right-hand side. Schlegel loses his mark. Like, I don't know what he was doing. I'm surprised he didn't get pulled at that point because he's clearly a liability. Indy hits an absolute sublime chip up over to Ari Lassiter. And at that point, like, Lucy can attest, I was screaming, he's wide open. He is wide effing open.
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming. Like, I'm sitting there, and Ari puts that ball
just
on.
Get the ball to him. Just get the ball to him, and it's over.
Ari puts that ball on an absolute silver platter, and here comes the man himself, the man who has been at the epitome of a lot of my frustrations, your frustrations, whether it's been right or not. Like, that is what it is. And he's having his redemption story. And you know what? I think, yes, the place erupted when Campana scored, but I have not heard an actual eruption for a Gonzalo goal like that goal right there. Because there, that was when it was, holy shit, we might do this.
Yeah, exactly. So I was about to say that. That was the insurance goal. The goal in the first 35 seconds, I was like, all right, this is a good start. That gives a safety blanket. We're still going to have to scrap it out. We don't have Pizuela. We don't have Gregory. This is still gonna be tough. That was like, wow, like this is real, and we have the momentum. We'll get into the stats. Possession would say otherwise, but this is when we knew what it was. And towards the end of the season of this podcast, right? We do different seasons per season. We did predictions early on this year, like when Alex was still in the first show or whatever. And I think Campana had 14 goals, 12 assists or something like that last year. And I took the over on it. And I was just like, hell yeah. I knew this was possible in the right circumstances for him to be this productive. And you can tell his confidence and his finishing is just at the best it's been with this club right now. And the primary catalyst for this was Pozuelo. I don't think anyone will deny that. But the fact that we lose Pozuelo for a game, maybe two, we'll see. And the team grew at the same time, kind of elevating themselves while Pozuelo was holding it down, giving those balls. And now Pozuelo is gone, and the team is still able to give him the service that they couldn't give him earlier this year, that they were not capable of giving him throughout the first third, even first 2/3 of this season. But now everyone's trending in the right direction. And all this works because for the past, 2.75 years, whatever.
Yeah.
We lose a player for a game and it could all crumble. But now we're a team. Next man up. It's fine. He'll plug the hole. He'll fill the gap. And we're seeing the results, and it's just so damn special. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, absolutely. We could go on and on about it, but I'm sure the listeners want to keep this freight train rolling. Halftime came and went. Mickey Mouse Soccer Club made a few substitutions. Not going to mention their names because it's nobody special. 52nd minute. I'm going to be honest with you. At first glance, I didn't think it was a penalty until they slowed the replay down. I thought it hit shoulder. Like, it was more because, sometimes when we watch the Premier League, we see the ball hit up here in the shoulder bicep area, and you're like, okay, no pen.
Yeah.
And when it got upheld, I was like, well, this is definitely our night then. Gonzalo, you knew it was his. He steps up,
but he did it so beautifully, dude.
Well, and I was going to piggyback off what you said. His strikes right now are absolutely gorgeous. He love tapped this thing. It wasn't a rocket. He faked the keeper out and just love tapped it.
Gillespie was already falling over to his left before he even hit the ball. It just perfect, beautiful pen 3-0. And what's better than beating your rival and knocking them out of the playoffs, or playoff line rather, just to be specific and correct, but just demoralize, just disgracing them, really ripping their soul out. It felt so good, especially after, this was a revenge game where we played them earlier in the season. We played them in the Open Cup final, and a game, we almost won, but we had those defensive issues. But we'll get to we'll highlight kind of the defense at the end of this as well. But damn, man, like, ooh, we're a team.
Yeah, and the nail in the coffin. It wasn't the prettiest of the four, but
it was. Don't take it away from our boy now.
Now wait a second. You interrupted me. I said it wasn't the prettiest, but Bryce Duke finding that pass. I love watching this kid become more and more. And I got to give credit to Ari. Early in the season, he would have tried to rush that, and he would have tried to do extra. And Duke finds Ari up the middle. Ari has Gonzalo. We're all screaming for him to pass to Gonzalo at that point. We want the Hattie.
Yeah. Talking about the balls of Ari right now, bro.
Yeah. And then I don't know if he thought he was Jean Mota or whoever, but he decided to just crank it with his left foot outside the box. I'm already screaming at my TV because I'm assuming he's missed it. And I'm like, this is it. It's done. It's over. The game's won. That's it.
Beamed him. I mean, beamed it. Just a laser. We refer to those as worm burners, man. There are a few earthworms died out there on that hybrid pitch, which I don't even think earthworms want to inhabit. But dude, the cojones, man, looked Gonzalo off not once but twice, and was like, "Nah, fam, I got this."
Yeah.
And earlier this season, definitely last year, Gonzalo would have been so pissed off, hands in the air, probably stopped playing. But he rips that, and Gonzalo just throws his arms up. And he's like, you know what? Like, I have a brace. I don't really need the hat trick. Hell of a kick, kid. Hell of a kick. And then, of course, does what Ari does and just hits that gritty for him.
That celebration that just needs to go away.
I just taught myself how to gritty, so no, we're going to keep it alive for a little bit longer.
Dude, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and keep moving here because we could argue about this all day. Indy got subbed out for Victor to kind of bring down the intensity, lockdown defensive side here. Some more,
kill the game.
Yeah. Some more substitutions for Mickey Mouse. We gave up it was a decent goal by Kara. Caught Drake in the defense napping. That was in the 71st minute. 77th.
Here's a secret. We didn't care one bit. we knew then they weren't coming back with 4 goals. We could have your charity goal, peasants.
We didn't care when in the 77th minute Gonzalo came out for the Lizard King, who is making his first appearance since the red card. Yeah,
saw that main warm up, bro. Yes. The break. Actually, it doesn't matter on goal differential.
No,
maybe that one goal would have, but
yeah. But then Emerson got subbed in for our boy Robbie Taylor, and then there was that ugly yellow card. I thought it should have been a little bit more in the 83rd minute on our Chris McVeigh. Hands to the throat area. But you know what? I'm gonna stop the pod right there. I want to discuss one thing I tweeted out during the game. Chris McVeigh is arguably, in my mind, the most underrated player we have on the team. He has played minute after minute after minute after minute. He busts his ass. He goes left, right, center. He goes from being a defensive stalwart to scoring arguably one of the top goals of the season for us early on, beaming that crossbar straight down in dying time.
Oh, yeah.
And
I forgot about that one.
I really think the fan base needs to appreciate what he does. It's not beautiful. It's the dirty work that needs to be done. And
he's versatile. He can play in the center. He can play off in the left wing. He has played in every single game we played. Only one other player has played in every single game. Do you know who that is?
Was it Lewis?
Because I'm looking at it.
Was it Lewis?
No, I'm saying this season he's played.
Oh, this season.
Game.
I don't.
It's Yedlin. So those two players are playing every single game. Yep, every single game. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. Chris McVeigh deserves so much praise, so much praise, and I think he's only going to get better. But 4 goals, we gave up 1, but hey, We came into this game and we were behind Orlando on goal differential. Not that it matters. We've already solidified our spot, and they're not going to be able to really threaten us, really points wise, unless they score like 4. But we were what, negative 11 coming in, or negative 10 and negative 7. So yeah, all in all, here we are, baby. And now, what's left? We got that big old beautiful X by our name sitting in the 5th spot. Just to kind of give a snapshot of what we're looking at here. So the way the playoff format is set, we were previously talking about like just trying to get in as 7, right? Just get above the line, get in the playoffs, and then you got to play the number 2 team, because that'd be Montreal right now, because Philly, if they hold, they would get the first round bye, right? Montreal's going to try and come out and thump us in the forehead for sure, because they can still win the East. So this will be a still intense game. I think, did we speak before the podcast, or did you mention that on the podcast?
So we spoke before the podcast,
Okay.
but rumors are that Toronto is going to sit the Italian mob against Philly. Low key, I personally think that is to dig Montreal, because I mean Philly is a goal scoring machine, and there's no love lost between Toronto and Montreal. So
I thought Canadians were supposed to be really polite and nice.
Obviously, I have some offline stories to tell you about the Quebecois.
Well, so right now as it sits, though, New York is number 4. We are number 5. New York is going to play Charlotte, who might want to finish the season strong, maybe have a good game. Maybe Lewis Morgan throws the game for us and hooks us up. Either way, like even if we beat Montreal and New York Red Bulls lose, 4 and 5 play each other. So either way, we're playing New York. I don't really see any other situation where we could, maybe if we lose and Cincinnati wins, they could shake that up. But for all intents and purposes, the way it's looking is that we're about to play New York. Even if we jump to the 4th spot, we'll still probably be playing New York. At least we'll be doing it at Drive Pink and at home, which is our fortress.
So Ian Hest actually posted on Twitter. It said Inter Miami's only possible first round opponents are New York Red Bull, NYCFC, Toronto, or Montreal, and Philly. Philly can only happen if Philly loses and somehow Miami drops to the 7th seed. Montreal can only happen if Montreal wins, Philly wins, and Miami drops to the 7th seed. Otherwise, it's going to be one of the New York squads. So,
okay, fair enough. Shout out Ian. Shout out Austin. Shout out Alex Winley. Shout out the Heron Outlet. They always have those deep level stats.
Yeah.
we don't have the required equipment between our ears for all this stuff.
No, we don't.
Yeah, but so it seems an awful lot like it's going to be the Red Bulls regardless. But we'll see how this weekend shakes out. It's going to be an interesting weekend. The decision day, 2:30 p.m. on Sunday, the Eastern Conference will be decided. And then I think it's 5 p.m. on Sunday that the Western Conference will be decided. And that's correct. That is 100% correct. So games to watch here are going to be Atlanta, New York City, FC. Cincinnati, DC, just see what happens. Cincinnati, obviously Montreal, Miami. We know everyone's watching that, and then New York, Charlotte. Those will be the ones to watch. And of course, I mean, I don't really care about the Toronto Philly situation, whatever happens there, but I'm definitely going to be peeping into the Orlando Columbus game. I'm going to go find a yellow shirt that I have. I don't even know if I own a yellow shirt. I might go buy one just for Sunday. Of course, after the Inter Miami game, I'll throw it on. I really want to see Zelli. I really want to see Cucho come out there, fight for it. I think Orlando's really struggling right now, and just keep them out of the playoffs. I want us to be the ones that knock them below, and I want Columbus to be the one that's kicking when they're down and keep them out. And enjoy your U.S. Open Cup that the MLS rigged for you, rescheduled the game just so the MLS team wouldn't lose to Sacramento Republic. Enjoy that, because at the same time, they rescheduled the game, but we were lucky enough to play on Friday, and we had what is that? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So 4 or 5 days of rest. Orlando had to play on Sunday and then come to Drive Pink on Wednesday with very little rest, which might have played into the absolute massacre, pushing our little brother down the steps situation that occurred.
Is Cucho actually available after everything that's been going on with him?
I believe so.
I
Here's a fun update though with the Taxi Funta situation.
oh
He's just in Greece. He went back to Greece. I don't think he's ever coming back. I think DC United said, get the hell out of here. I don't think he's ever going to come back. I don't think he's ever going to have to answer for the really insensitive and just horrible word that he called Damian Lowe. He's just taken the coward's way out. This is such a weird turn of events. I had so much respect for Taxi prior to that game and really loved watching him. But F you, bro. Just go run back to Greece and never come back and never have to answer anything. I don't think he's ever going to be back in the league, and he's a POS in my mind now.
good. I agree. I think you and I both had the same level of mutual respect for Taxi, but after that cowardly act, I hope you never are allowed back in the country. Fun fact: Cucho is actually available. There was only a 1-game suspension.
Wait,
Going
what did he
back
get
to game,
suspended for? I don't remember.
he was colorful language, but not to the severity of Taxi.
Okay, fair.
Um,
So we can
I
still
think,
like Cucho.
yeah. So games I'm going to be paying attention to, because as much as I want to watch, uh, Orlando, I don't think I'll be able to bring myself to do
Oh, I
that.
will. I will. I hope they just suffer. I want to see them suffer.
Well,
I want to see the
so
fans. And
really,
it's at Orlando too. I want to see the fans with their hands in the air leaving early. Oh, you're not a pleasant group of people to be around.
that's actually now that no, and then I will roast them on Twitter. I don't care if we win or lose that day. I will roast them.
I was thinking about looking back on Twitter, going back to when the Open Cup was, and going to find who was all messaging us. But I was like, no, be mature, be an adult.
Don't do it. All right, but no. So jokes aside, on the Western side, it's actually going to be an interesting slate of games because 6 seed Portland plays 8 seed Real Salt Lake, and 7 seed Minnesota plays 9 seed Vancouver, and between 6th and 9th, there are 46, 45, 44, and 43 points.
Yeah, it's really tight. And
And
you said what?
Colorado,
Portland. You said Portland plays Real, right?
yeah, and
And
then
so if
Minnesota,
Real wins, they can knock Portland out and jump up.
yeah, and then Minnesota
Yeah.
plays Vancouver, and then I don't think they've been no, they haven't been eliminated.
So
If
6
Colorado,
plays 8 and 7 plays 9. That's going to be a pretty exciting finish.
unlikely, but somehow Colorado could still sneak into if they beat Austin and there's a draw or two or here, like I still don't think they're out of it.
I just hope I can still see straight for the 5 o'clock games because we're going hard for Montreal.
See, you're doing that, and I'm going to a 4-game tournament this weekend, so I'm going to be watching from my phone, completely sober. So, dad life. But no, the ideal situations, we were talking about 4v5, home versus away. It doesn't matter. We're playing Red Bull. I am going to be a little selfish. I would love for that to be a home game because I will be down there, baby. FanFest version 2. It's happening this season, baby. I'll be down.
Wait, you're for the if we do the first round playoff?
Yeah, I'm
that-
already scheduled to be down in the Keys.
Is that I know you told me, but I forgot the dates. It's 10/17, right?
So if it's that Sunday, if we play Sunday or Monday, I'll be there.
Perfect.
I already got the blessing. And then if we somehow win,
You're staying.
the
on my couch.
Well, yeah, that.
Send the family back.
The weekend I get back up here, they would play Philly and Philly.
Oh,
Lucy
maybe
goes,
I'll fly up for that.
well, Lucy goes, how much money are you planning on spending? I said, enough that you might want to get the papers ready because we're going to these games, baby.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, dude, we would absolutely have to travel. Travel for that. Oh man, I might literally. I might buy tickets at halftime of the first playoff game.
Yeah,
but that'd be good.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be one of those things that we shouldn't get too far ahead of ourselves. I've been really trying to tell myself that regardless of what happens, Red Bull is going to be a tough match. Yes, we beat them at home. Yes, we should have beat them away, but Karate Kid came out in full force that game and ruined a beautiful Gonzalo free kick.
Yeah, I mean, we also should have I mean, there's we no joke. We could have been like already in third place. I mean, like just a couple games that got away from us, like that first DC game. Like there's definitely
Well,
all these circumstances. But I'm just happy that we had the rescheduled game, and then we kind of prefaced and warned everyone that we're going to be a couple games behind everyone, so we're going to fall out. But just to climb our way back in there, man, it's good.
well, I agree. I was just stating that in terms of just the Red Bull alone, it's not. If you ever watch March Madness and you watch those really close games like 7 and 8, it's going to be one of those knockout games where one team's not extremely better than the other. It's going to be a brawl,
Yeah.
a brawl
Well,
to
like,
the end of it.
and here's my thoughts too: is like it doesn't matter really to me. Obviously, sorry. Let me rephrase. It matters to me. I want the home playoff game. I want everyone to be able to enjoy that, to go to that. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't really care if we have to play New York at home or if we're playing away, because New York is not good at home. They're really good on the road. We're really good at home. I mean, we're 10-3-3 at home. And I mean, really, like the only team better than us is Philadelphia at home. I mean, New York is technically worse than us because they have an additional what is that, loss or draw? I can't even tell right now. They always change the format, but I don't care, man. Like, this is a good situation for us. I would obviously love to play them at home, but feels damn good. I don't think we really need to cover too much on Montreal. We played them just a little bit ago. Go back for fans' historical breakdown of Club de Foot.
We could do that. I was not prepared for our historical breakdown.
No. I'm saying you already did it. So we did one.
Yeah.
It was just a few weeks ago, so we don't need to do.
Oh yeah, I guess it was. No, we don't need to do that. I did want to say though, another moment for us when we play Red Bull, we could be witnessing the last time we see Lewis Morgan stateside.
Well, I hope so. I truly do hope so.
I do as well, and there's rumblings that he has been looked at by quite a few clubs back in Scotland, and I really, really hope for him that he gets to go back home and gets to tear it up because he deserves it.
Not good enough for me. Not good enough for Lewis. Nothing against the Scottish Premier League, but I want him in either the Premier League or the Championship or somewhere else in Europe. I want him in one of the major leagues. I want him to keep growing and get the exposure because he is such a hardworking individual and he deserves it.
Obviously,
I agree. The SPL is still very reputable, but I hope a really good team realizes the talent he has and that they can develop it further.
I agree, but do you think if Rangers came knocking or Celtic came knocking that he's not going to look at that very, very seriously?
So he will, but I don't know the loyalties. So right, it was Mirren or I don't know. Would it be would he rather play at Rangers or Celtic? I know the Scottish rivalries are pretty fierce, but who knows? I'm still holding on hope that he comes back to Miami one time.
I'll try to work that in the conversation.
We got some open DP spots coming up. I will happily take a Lewis back. Yeah, so let's get into some like other random news, right? Fun news. Fun article I saw today shared by Sports Illustrated. Beckham has been speaking with Mr. CR7 himself, Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, I'm going to throw it out there. You know how I do it. I love the rumors. I love to stir it up. Ronaldo's coming. It's confirmed. You heard it here first.
Not for me.
I also heard that Messi's coming in the summer for 10% stake again. I've heard that Luis Suarez is going to the Galaxy. So that's fun. And then in other news, MLS did announce the League Cup dates. And this is really fun stuff, especially for us, because the way it's set up for the group assignments, MLS clubs ranked 2nd to 16, which is us, baby. It's us. We're in there. On the 2022 Supporter Shield. Actually, let me double check that. I've got this right here.
You might want to just double check that quick. If it's off Supporter Shield, we might be in trouble.
Yes, we are. We're in 8th in the Supporter Shield.
What?
Ooh. Yeah, and we're top 10 on the MLS Power Rankings for the first time ever. It was such a good week. That happened before the Orlando game, I believe. So MLS clubs ranked 2nd to 16th. on the 2022 Supporter Shield finish are going to be seeded first in each group. So we're going to have a first number one spot in the groups. Liga MX, it's a Mexican league, ranked 2 to 16, based on they're a little different of a league. They have the Clausura and Apertura, so like the beginning and the ending. Like basically, they have two competitions, right? Teams can win the Clausura, and then a separate team could win the Apertura, and then I think somehow they calculate it for like total winner. Maybe I'm way off on that. Honestly, I don't watch Liga MX, but it's kind of the same thing. 2 through 16, they will get the second position in each group, and then the remaining 13 MLS clubs, together with the 2 remaining Liga MX clubs, will be drawn into groups and basically divided geographically. There's also going to be the Canadian Premier League is going to be in there, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. Nope. It's all MLS and Liga MX clubs will participate. It's going to be a standard kind of World Cup style tournament. It's going to be group stages followed by knockout rounds. No ties. Interesting. No ties in the League's Cup in 2023. Each team will receive 1 point if the game is tied. It will go to a penalty shootout if the game is tied, and the winner of the penalty shootout receives an additional point. I'm pretty sure that's the same format as the MLS Next Pro. 77 games are going to be hosted at MLS stadiums throughout the United States and Canada. Liga MX says Liga MX versus Liga MX matches. So if 2 Mexican teams play each other, those games are going to be played at MLS venues depending on region. Obviously the 2020 MLS Cup champion skips the group stage, starts the round of 32. Of the 2 Liga MX recent champions in the Clausura and Apertura, the club with the most combined points accumulated across both tournaments. So whoever has the most points between the Clausura and the Apertura will be given a bye and then start in the round of 32. Single game elimination, round of 32, 16 matches, round of 16, 18 matches, all pretty cut and dry, what you would think. Here's where it gets a little bit more interesting. The third place match, the winner qualifies for the CONCACAF Champions League. The final, which will be on Saturday, August 19th, 2023. Both clubs, if you make the final, both clubs qualify for the CONCACAF Champions League. League's Cup winner skips directly to the CONCACAF Champions League round of 16. Reward-wise, third place match winners will qualify. We already announced that. Yep, that's basically everything. And just we have the 10-year partnership with Apple coming up, and including all MLS matches. All Leagues Cup matches will be presented live to fans around the world through the Apple TV app with no blackouts. And that's a good damn time for the Americas, North America, and Central America, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was really against it when it first came out. I'm kind of warming up to it a little bit more. It's one of those things where I think at the time I was really complaining about the fact because everything price-wise was up. Literally everything was up. And I was like, great, another $5 out of my month, or out of my pocket every month. But it's going to be good. It's not going to be the same if Ray's not calling it, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
So we don't know what's going to happen, right? Right. With the broadcasters I don't think individual teams will have their own broadcasters anymore. It's probably like a rotating kind of squad like you would see on college football or the NFL, right? I am excited about this tournament because, they did kind of like a really condensed version just a week or two ago. There's been this constant debate of who's the better league. And now, we'll be able to find out, right? Seattle just won the CONCACAF Champions League, first MLS team to ever do it. But you're starting to see, the MLS teams have better results against the Liga MX teams. And this will be a really fun competition to see. I think I missed out there. There's going to be, I read somewhere, maybe it's in here. There's going to just be like a 2-week break, basically. So the tournament is going to run from July 21st so 2 days for my birthday, to August 19th. So slightly less than a month. What is that? 28 days? 28 days, about 4 weeks. So both leagues are going to actually go on pause during that time. So, you get knocked out early. I would assume the group stages probably take a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. You get knocked out early, you're going to have 2 weeks off to kind of, fully rest and recuperate. But there's going to be a pretty big break in both MLS and Liga MX next year when this takes place. And definitely looking forward to it, man. Who doesn't love tournament style knockout round footy? That's I think what sucked most people into this damn sport, right? Once it gets its hooks in you, then you just go down the deep rabbit hole of the different leagues, and then you find and identify a club team that you like. But I feel like it always starts, maybe particularly in America, with the World Cup.
Yeah, no, I would agree, because I know for me it was England. I trickled down and followed some of the players, and I was like, oh yeah, I love that player. And then it was United, and then the whole 9 yards. We don't need to get into that. One of the more pertinent pieces of news that I was happy about: Inter Miami unveils an academy partner club program. Inter Miami has announced it is allying itself with 24 local academies from throughout South Florida, forming its inaugural class of official partner clubs for 2022-2023. They want to develop the football in South Florida and officially ally themselves with clubs that align with Inter Miami's goals. One notable club for me, only because we all know the Noah Allen story, was that Weston Academy is actually now a partner club. For as salty as they were about Noah leaving to go to Inter Miami, Weston is in there. Fort Lauderdale, obviously, FC, I see, is in there. Miami Beach FC, quite a few teams in there. So another positive step in the direction for Inter Miami outreaching to the community and helping other academies out.
This is good, because I'm trying to get
Yes.
Quinn eventually into Weston, and if they're already a partner of Inter Miami, I'm gonna try as hard as I can. Quinn wants to as well. Maybe one day play for Inter Miami. This is the route. This is the path.
He better remember his uncle. That's all I'm saying. And the other piece of news, and I don't know really if it was news, it was kind of one of those things where it was just kind of like, hey, by the way, here it is. The training kits and the training center is now paired up with Florida Blue.
Yeah.
Am I correct with that? Okay.
Yeah.
So we still don't have Cafe Bustelo. I'm not salty.
No, we do.
Salty.
We do. They're just not a kit sponsor.
No, that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted.
That's what we wanted. But they have their own Cafe Bustelo stand, which I've yet to be to. But Peter Brown and Uncle Ed did a really fun series. Shout out to them. Was it Miami Football TV or Football Miami TV? I don't know why it's can't think of what it is right now, but they did a fun little food and drink review from the stadium, from going to the different stands, and they did one at Cafe Bustelo. I got to get over there. I mean, obviously everyone down here loves Cafe Bustelo. They are technically a partner, but we want them smack on the jersey for sure. I don't even know what XBTO is. I'm pretty heavy into crypto, and I don't even use that platform. So give me something cool. Give me something South Florida specific. Other fun news: Romeo Beckham is training with Brentford, the Brentford Bees, the mighty Brentford Bees. You may recall them in recent weeks from absolutely destroying Manchester United 4-0. Very similar to what Inter Miami did to Orlando City. Dan's very mad right now. I love you.
You can't hurt me, because we almost lost. We almost lost to a team this week that sounded like another COVID variant. the Omicron, somebody or whoever from Cyprus. So you can't hurt me. You can't.
But I will add on to this, right? It's not that I don't think he's training with their B squad. He's training with the Brentford Bees. That's tough when they're called.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you doing?
The Brentford Bees B squad, right? So they're like the Inter Miami 2 squad. There was some speculation over here, like, oh, it might be to jumpstart his career, get into the EPL. He's just over there for a month, and he's maintaining fitness. That's kind of the
the what I've heard out there is that this is just to maintain fitness. I think probably the wiser idea is start your career in MLS and use obviously daddy's connections to, get a spot on a EPL or maybe championship side. But you got to get a resume first, I think. I don't think the name's just going to get you onto the pitch. So, come on. You've done quite well for Inter Miami 2. Come up to the big boy squad. Maybe they make that signing. Maybe we actually start to see Harvey Neville and Romeo Beckham here over the next, season or two. And, hey, best of luck to you. But outside of that, no real other news I can think of unless I'm missing anything, bud.
No, I think we pretty much covered it. I just want to throw out a final apology for the lack of format and a little bit of chaos that we are going through this episode. We threw this together last minute. I have been up since the crack of dawn, and Jay has been running around like a chicken with his head cut off. So we appreciate you sticking around. If you're still listening at this point, you are the real ones. You guys are.
We said it was going to be like a shorter episode, but here we are coming up on.
No, because we both start talking. We don't know how to stop talking, and then it just goes from there. So,
apologies for any audio issues. Again, we're having to use old equipment. I'm going to have to ship off the Roadcaster standalone unit to get fixed, and of course, life kind of hits you fast, and it doesn't stop hitting you for a little bit, and you just kind of work through it. So, thank you to the support for everyone. We did have some kind of different format shows over the previous 2 episodes. Shout out to Inter Miami Traveler, Jorge DTA, Don Cafecito. I know I'm missing some names here, but they're all in the Discord, and they offered us to step up and help us out during times where we had to handle some other situations. So thank you to everyone, and of course, thank you to all the listeners. I'm gonna have to add the intro and outro out manually and do this all old school by hand as we did when the podcast started, but we will see everyone on Sunday. Enjoy this time. Enjoy this game. It doesn't matter if we win or lose. We're in the playoffs all the same. Bars. Anyway, as we end every single episode, I need to give social media shout outs. Check us out on Instagram at Inter Miami Podcast. Check us out on Twitter at Inter MIA Podcast. Was passing out the Supremely Inter black jerseys, the new ones that came in. So if you haven't got yours yet, shoot me a message, DM us. We'll meet up at the stadium. I have a few extras, and I have some extra whites and pinks. Just added that to the order. So if anyone is, didn't throw in a pre-order, wants to scoop one, we have them now. And as we end every single episode, Vamos Miami.
Vamos, Miami.
That was a good one, buddy. That was a good one.
I've been trying.